going on, my peeps? It's Ethan Bice. It's 4 hours to Lincoln. Let's get right to it. We have lost to Michigan State 17-20 in what I thought was a very winnable game. Looking back on things, though, my goodness, we just could not get it together today. The coaching was bad enough today, but the players just did not seem too enthusiastic today. And I suppose it happens, but it just was not a good day for it. And what a miserable day of football in general. OU lost to Oklahoma State. They lost the last Bedlam game. Yeah, just a terrible day of football. Hopefully my Dolphins can beat the Chiefs tomorrow morning when they play in Germany. But what a terrible loss. You just die, with the train we've been riding here. We would have, kept going on this high, and just I don't know. I kind of thought it'd be close, but I didn't think it was gonna result in a loss. But we did lose nonetheless. But losses aren't always a bad thing. Sometimes they can be a learning lesson. But let's not hang our heads on this. I know people are back at it, with the fire mat rule and yada yada yada. It was just a poorly coached game and a poorly played game. Everything was just poor today. And what else can you do? And maybe being on the road didn't help and playing earlier. I don't know. I don't know what the culprit is. There may be a ton of factors. Maybe we came in overconfident. I don't know. I could not tell you. Now it is a Big Ten East team, thus the West sucking, but yeah, it was just a bad loss all around. But maybe we can learn from it and just continue driving forward and hoping for that bowl berth. I think that Big Ten West Championship talk is pretty much over now. But, hopefully these guys just, it's not like they got a lot to lose, We've been sucking for quite some time now, but one thing that would be nice is a bowl berth. One thing that'd be nice is getting over 500 for once in a million years. But, I, as a Nebraska fan, I never thought back in 1999 we would ever see anything like this. But I'm not gonna be one that's gonna get all pissed off. I'm just not. I just can't be. It's not my nature, I guess. But let's just move forward as fans too, and let's quit trying to rip each other's head off because we lost again. It was somewhat balanced when we were winning those 3 games in a row, but now that we lost, everybody's back at it. They're all pissy, chill. Just chill, There's still 3 games left. We just need to win one of those, be bowl eligible. We can do this, I know we got Maryland next week. They're going to be a tough test too, all right? But, let's just cool ourselves. So, anyway, without further ado, so this ain't actually a gut reaction video. I'm actually doing one today to update on things, and then tomorrow we'll update on the weekend as well and preview what's to come. But I'm going to go ahead and just start with football while we're on the subject. So I watched the game clear up till like the 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, something like that, 7 minutes, somewhere around there, because wrestling actually started their duel against North Dakota State. So it was right after when Heinrich Harburg threw that interception. I was just pretty much like, you know what, we're done. And now this ain't no disrespect. I'm not one of those that get mad and turn the game off, but I was trying to take my notes for the wrestling team as well, and I pretty much knew the game was over by then. But I did see we scored a touchdown too, so I don't really know what else happened at the end of the game, but we scored a touchdown to get closer. So I mean that's a good thing. I don't even know who scored that touchdown or whatnot, but good job by us at least making it closer, and it still shows that there's a fight in this team. But so I just looked. We went for 154 rushing yards on 41 carries, but managed just 129 yards on 12 of 28 for passing. And I don't know why we were trying the passing game so hard today. I think, and it's not just the players that lost this game. I hate to say it, but Marcus Satterfield could not call a game for shit today. He was calling some boneheaded plays. I mean, how many times did we have like a pass 3 times in a row? Like, that shit's gotta stop. Last week when we were passing on the goal line, like, seriously, I don't know why this guy is so pass happy. Our run game has been more effective than our passing game this year, so I don't understand that. I don't understand his logic, and Harburg, God bless him, but he's not the most accurate QB out there, I mean, he threw a pass to, who was it? Bullock? Like, I don't know, a 50-yard bomb downfield, and it just went straight in the hands of Michigan State receiver. And I mean, that was like what, the second quarter or something like that. It was just terrible to see. Like, I mean, and the guy was like wide open, but he throws it right to the Michigan State receiver. It was just super boneheaded to see. But defense did hold Michigan State to 63 yards of rushing. So they did their job on that, A lot of times when you can hold a team on rushing, you do win games. But Michigan State did have a plethora of passing attacks on it. I don't know what they saw on film against us, but they saw some soft spot on us. And Malcolm Hartzog worked some overtime in this game for sure. But man, they were just, it was like 4 pass plays that I remember that just blew our defense apart. Nothing against them guys. They've been having a terrific season, and they still had a pretty good game. I mean, and that's all it was. It was just good. It wasn't great. It was just a good game for the defense. But yeah, they did give up some big plays, especially in the air, and that's got to get cleaned. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I really think the whole team just came in and just laid an egg. I mean, even Matt Rule himself. And no, I'm not saying fire Matt Rule. I'm not saying that at all. That talk is silly. But I'm just saying, like, even he had a bad game coaching as well. And I don't like to blame refs, but there's some bullshit calls from the refs today as well. So a lot of things just did not go our way. And it does happen, guys. I mean, it does. It sucks. I hate it. But, we got 3 games left. We just got to win one of those 3 to make a bowl game. I would love for one of those to be against Iowa. In Maryland, we don't know what team we're going to have next week against Maryland. We can either have badass Gore, Maryland, or second half against Ohio State, Maryland. I don't know, but we'll see. But it's just it's gonna be rough for a while, guys. That's all I'm saying. Like this is Matt Rule's first year. And he does get a pass. By me, he gets a pass in this first year. And so far, I think he's been doing a pretty solid job for us overall. We did have a day like today. We had one. I mean, but when you're rebuilding a program, you're gonna have a lot of inconsistencies, and that's what today consisted of, was inconsistencies. And yeah, we just were not on our A game today. But I still think the future's bright for us. I'm not gonna sit here and dog on anybody or whatnot. But yeah, it was just a terrible day on the field. So let's not get too shitty to each other about it. There's still a lot of things in this athletic program to be proud of. And matter of fact, today I got my shirt, the Big Ten soccer championship shirt today. So I'm pretty proud of that. I never thought I'd wear a Big Ten soccer championship shirt, but here I am. And I'll actually get to soccer here in a minute. But yeah. What note did I make? Although the defense has played stout for most of the part, the big difference in this game is Michigan State had an effective passing game against a defense that's been decent, that's seen a decent amount of success on the pass this season. But I think the Spartans found a soft spot and went with their game plan. I mean, and that's all there is to it. We just had an off day. Even Tony White had an off day on calling plays. I mean, as great as he's been all year, he did have an off day, and it just happens, guys. I don't know what else to say about that, but things will be bright, and let's not get shitty with each other about it. So, on that note, we're speaking of soccer. So we lost in the Big Ten semifinal game against Wisconsin, who we tied earlier this year. So that stung a little bit too, but I don't know. We still get the NCAA bid, and we should still be able to host a game too. So that's actually a big plus for us. So selection show is on Monday, and it's going to be while I'm at work, unfortunately, so I'll already know our fate before I even get to watch the show. So, yeah, we should get a decent spot, should be able to host a game, and should be able to move on to the next round of 32 in that tournament. So, still some season left for soccer. Eleanor Dale has... let's see, she's 2 away from getting the school record of goals this season, and she's still on top of the NCAA as far as scores gold. So hopefully she gets that crown this year, and she has a chance to be a National Player of the Year. So look at that, Husker fan. Something to look forward to. I know not all of you are a big soccer fan, but it's something to be excited about. It's something to be proud of. It's something to follow, while we're awaiting our football team to get rebuilt and back to glory. So look for that, guys. So soccer's still looking up. And that's all I can say about that. So now moving on to men's tennis. I'm not a big tennis guy, but for the sake of the show, I do talk about it. So we had Nick Weidenhorn and Anton Shep uh, go in as a pair to take on the Fall National Championships, the ITA Fall National Championships. Um, and I don't know what this necessarily does for the season because I know the spring season is the actual like tennis season. This is all fall stuff. But so they went in there as a duel and lost their first match against Robert Cash and JJ Tracy of Ohio State. And then they moved on to the consolations. From there, the pair defeated Ryan Cahill and Pascal Mosberger of Xavier. The next round was a bye. And then on day 2, due to an injury, the duo ends the tournament in the consolation quarter round. So they ended that tournament early, and unfortunate for them. I don't know which guy got injured, but hopefully he'll be okay. So then moving on, we had 5 other guys compete in the Big Ten individual championships. So it don't make sense to have like these fall national championships coincide with these conference championships. It's weird to me. Don't ask me how. I don't know. But so Calvin Mueller, Rudy Christensen, Lars Johan, Shania Marioma, and Nikolay Saisuev are all in this tournament. So we are actually done with day 1 and 2. And the final day is tomorrow. So with that, explaining the format of this thing, I looked at it and I'm like, oh my god. So you of course have your singles and you have your doubles, and then but for some reason you have like singles east, north, south, west. Then you have northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest draws. So you have like 16 different brackets. It's almost like wrestling. You have like all these brackets, but it looked like the east was like the main draw or whatever. I don't know. I just read it as is. So without further ado, on day 1, in the singles east draw, Lars Johan in the round of 64 gets a bye. Round of 32, he beats Nino Ehrenschneider of Michigan. Nikolay Saisuev in the round 64 defeats Colin Badoon of Wisconsin. Round of 32 defeats Michael Andre of Indiana. Shania Mariuma in the round of 64 gets a bye. In the round of 32, he defeats Nicholas Steiglander of Michigan. Rudolph Christensen in the round 64 defeats Jackson Caldwell of Northwestern. In the round of 32 falls to Bjorn Swinson of Michigan. Calvin Mueller in the round of 64 gets a bye. In the round of 32 defeats Jagger Saylor of Indiana. And that's it for the singles east. In the doubles east, Shania Mariuma and Nikolay Saisuev in the round of 32 defeats Grayson Lair and Luke Bayless of Michigan State. In the round of 16 falls to Nino Ehrenschneider and Patorn Henschkel of Michigan. Rudolph Christensen and Mert Orel. So Christensen is a Nebraska player. Mert Orel is a Michigan player, but they got to team up. And they both defeated Ikansh Kumar and Luke Boyer of Indiana. In the round of 16, falls to Bryce Nakashima and Preston Stearns of Ohio State. Lars Johan, Calvin Mueller in the round of 32 gets a bye. In the round 16, falls to Chad Miller and Grayson Casey of Northwestern. And then in the doubles north, Shania Mariuma and Nikolay Saisuev in the quarterfinal falls to Oliver Olson and Thomas Zlatklubek of Wisconsin. Rudolph Christensen and Mert Orel In the quarterfinal, fall to Reese Yakubov and Josh Portnoy. Lars Johan and Calvin Mueller in the quarterfinal defeats Harrison James and Jack Martuccio at Penn State. So that's the day one of action. Day two, we actually finished up today. And so in singles East, Lars Johan in a round of 16 defeats Luke Bayless of Michigan State. In the quarterfinals, falls to Miko Iala of Penn State. Nikolai Saisov in the round 16 falls to Miko Ila of Penn State. Shunya Mariuma in the round of 16 defeats Gleb Blecker of Northwestern. In the quarterfinals, defeats Bryce Nakashima of Ohio State. Calvin Mueller in the round of 16 defeats Felix Nordby of Northwestern. In the quarterfinals, defeats Preston Stearns of Ohio State. And singles Northeast, Nikolai Saisov in the quarterfinals defeats Luke Bayless of Michigan State. In the singles Northwest, Rudolph Christensen in the quarterfinals falls to Reese Yakubov of Ohio State. In the doubles North, Lars Johan and Calvin Mueller. In the semifinals, falls to Michael Andre Ilya Tyryopolsky of Indiana. And doubles Northwest, Shunya Marioma and Nikolai Saisov. And I love saying that name, Shunya Marioma. Makes me sound smart. But anyway, that pair in the semifinals. Okay. So I got lost here. So in the doubles Northwest, so Shunya Mariuma and Nikolai Saisov were to face Rudolph Christensen and Mert Oral in the semifinals, but they got canceled. So both teams just dropped out. I don't know why. Maybe it's because conflict of interest. I don't know. But so that match never even happened. So which leaves us for day three tomorrow. So in the singles East semifinals, Miko Ila and Shunya Mariuma, will face off. And then Bjorn Swinson of Michigan versus Calvin Mueller. So we got two Huskers in the semifinals tomorrow in the Big Ten individuals. So good luck to them. And that's in the singles East. In the singles Northeast semifinals, we got Nikolai Saisova versus Gleb Blecker of Northwestern. So still got three Huskers in it tomorrow. So that's all I know. And we're going to move on. So we're going to move on to bowling now. Days 1 and 2 are complete. We are currently sitting in third, awaiting for tomorrow. But day 1 results. Baker match 1 versus Maryville. We lost 10-32 to 10-80. Baker match 2 versus Alabama State. We won 10-12 to 806. Baker match 3 versus Central Missouri. We won 946 to 942. Baker match number 4 versus Grambling State. We won 914 to 724. Baker match 5. We lost 1086 to 1161. The ladies in day 1 with a total pinfall of 5,007, tied for 6. So now coming in day 2. Traditional match 1 versus Texas Southern. We won 10-19, 892. Traditional match 2 versus Oklahoma Christian. We won 1,116 to 1040. Traditional match number 3, we defeated number 8 Sam Houston 1089 to 916. Traditional match number 4, we defeat Lewis 1119 to 1035. In traditional match number 5 versus Prairie View A&M, we tied at 861 apiece. So they had to do some kind of roll off, which we won, going undefeated for the day, reaching a pinfall total of 10,211, tied for third going into day three. So day three is tomorrow. So good luck to the Lady Huskers there. So then on Friday we had swimming and diving, and let me take a sip real quick. So we beat KU in swimming and diving, which is fantastic. We won 187 to 113. So the results from that were pretty damn astounding, if you ask me. So in the 200-yard medley relay, Nebraska A team got second, and the C team got third. In the 1,000-yard freestyle, Genevieve Jorgensen, I believe I pronounced that right. She won that event, swimming for a time of 10 minutes 7 seconds, and Katerina Bisiashi got second with the time of 10 minutes and 26 seconds. So wow, that Genevieve Jorgensen actually won that pretty bigly, I guess you can say. So in the women 200-yard freestyle, Giulia Marchi got first with a time of a minute 51. Second place, Anna Vlachu with a minute 53 seconds. And third place was Alexa Kusira with a minute and 53 seconds. In the 100-yard backstroke, Gabriella Donahue placed third with a time of 58 seconds. Caitlin Cairns got fifth place. She also got 58.88 seconds. And sixth place, Madison Lloyd got 59.66 seconds. So in the 100-yard breaststroke, Maya Hall got first place with a minute and 4 seconds. Jojo Ramby got second with a minute and 4 seconds, 0.52. Fifth place, Amelia Riggett got a minute and 6 seconds and 0.09. Sixth place, Sydney McCracken with a minute and 6 seconds, 0.93. 200-yard butterfly, Sarah Barton. She got first place with a 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Second place, Anastasia Tichy, 2 minutes 4 seconds, and Katerina Bisiashi fifth place with 2 minutes and 6 seconds. 50-yard freestyle, Emily Hames got first place with the time of 23.97 seconds. Beatrix Tanko second place, 24.4 seconds. Sixth place, Anna Vlachu, 24.48. In the 3-meter diving, Antonia Harned got first place. Abigail Baxter got third. Kelsey Claremont got fourth. Ellie Delcamp got seventh. The 100-yard freestyle, Emily Hames got the gold in that event with 51.76 seconds. Second place, Giulia Marchi, 52 seconds, 0.21. Third place, Alexa Kusira with the time of 52 seconds, 0.41. 200-yard backstroke. Third place, Sarah Barton got 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Madison Lloyd, 2 minutes 6 seconds. And seventh place, Gabriella Donahue with 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 200-yard breaststroke, Maya Hall got first with 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Jojo Ramby with third. Sydney McCracken at seventh place. 500-yard freestyle, Genevieve Jorgensen got first with 4 minutes 57 seconds, 0.13. Third place, Katerina Bisiachi, 5 minutes 7 seconds. 100-yard fly, first place, Beatrix Tanko with 55.87 seconds. Third place, Caitlin Cairns with 56.86. And Vlachu, 57. She got fifth place, 57.51 seconds. Anastasia Tichy, 6th place, 58 on the dot. 1 meter diving, 2nd place, Abigail Baxter, 285.53. 3rd place, Kelsey Claremont, 284.03. 5th place, Antonia Harned with 271.88. 7th place, Frances Webb, 235.20. And 8th place, Ellie Delcamp, 216.98. 400-yard individual medley, Genevieve Jorgensen got another gold with 4 minutes 27 seconds. 2nd place, Sarah Barton, 4 minutes 30 seconds. And then 5th place, Madison Lloyd with 4 minutes 34 seconds. 200-yard individual, well, that's an exhibition, so that don't count. 400-yard freestyle relay, the Nebraska A and B team. I didn't even write what place they got, but so the A team got 3 minutes 26 seconds, B team got 3 minutes 58 seconds. Huge difference there. So that was the swimming and diving meet against KU. Moving on to volleyball against Penn State. What a classic that was, ladies and gentlemen. I am still hungover from that game. Not literally. I didn't even drink last night. But that was a hell of a game. Reverse sweep, if you will, against Penn State. And so that first set, I thought, wow, we looked terrible. we couldn't get nothing done in that game. And so I noted, overconfidence, rough crowd, service errors, lack of focus caused us to lose set 1. And that's probably all there is to it, You got a young group that we're probably overlooking Penn State. We beat them already, but, we go in there thinking, but there's just a lack of focus, that the team's riding on a huge high right now, and it could be easy to get really distracted, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then doesn't help, Penn State's got a rough crowd, you've got that white out, and that's a tough place to play. But we managed somehow. But in that first set, I believe that was the case. Set 2, we seemed to balance ourselves a little better, but still had a 23-25 set loss. Set 3, we finally looked more settled. Merritt Beeson has this tendency to take a game over, which is why she's one of my top candidates for fall player of the year in my vote. Not to mention she could be female athlete of the year, if this team keeps up what they're doing. But yeah, she has this tendency to take over games. I think she's said, I've had enough. But yeah, when things get rough, she takes over, and boy, when she does some big things. Set 4, both teams looked zoned in. The big difference was the Penn State hitting errors, both serving and hitting, looks to shape up be an exciting 5th set, and it was. And set 5, 8-3, you can hear the "Go Big Red" chants, but Penn State kept it close all the way to the end. Funny little note, John Coke told his team to embrace the challenge, and he did. The challenges, and I think it's that final challenge he pulled and he lost it. But what an exciting, wild game. We're 22-0 now. We got a game tomorrow, by the way, at noon. But exciting volleyball game, Merritt Beeson took it over. Becca Alec had a hell of a game too. I didn't write down any of the stats or anything, but Becca Alec, Andy Jackson had an okay game. Not her best, but she had her moments. It still hurts to not have Lindsay Krause, but we're still managing without her. But I really hope she gets healthy soon. But yeah, she hasn't even been suiting up, so big question mark there. But what an exciting game that was. I'm just so excited and proud of this young team. And tomorrow they get to play Rutgers in Piscataway. But it was just an incredible day. It was just as incredible as beating Wisconsin, when we did. And that Penn State win was huge because, it just keeps us alive on top of the Big Ten, because I think we're going to need that until we play Wisconsin. I really do. Right now, I feel like the only game we can afford to lose is at Wisconsin. It's that tight of a race right now. And I think Wisconsin's our second to last game. So if that's the only game we lose, count on us to having another one of these this year. So hell yeah, this team's so exciting, and it's been a long time since we won a Big Ten title. I think even longer than has since we won a national title. I can't remember the last time we won a Big Ten title, but yeah, it seems like a long time because Wisconsin's just been owning the conference for quite some time. What, the past 4 years or so? It's just insane to me. But, that win at home against Wisconsin was mega huge. And it is favorable to win out except for the road game at Wisconsin, If that's the only game we lose, no disappointment here, because that means we got one of these. So, hell yeah. Moving on to Rifle as they took on Citadel today. So, like I said, there's really no way to watch Rifle unless it's on YouTube or something, and even then you don't even know what's going on. So any material I read on the Rifle team, I'm just going directly from the Husker Athletics site. So I apologize for that, but that's the only way I can really do it. The number 4 Nebraska Rifle team moved to 3-3 on the season after grabbing a 4,704 to 4,632 win over the Citadel on Saturday. Nebraska took the 4 of the top 5 spots overall. Sophomore Emma Road placed first with an aggregate score of 1,182, and sophomore Tori Watts was second with the same score. The tiebreaker was determined by the number of 10-point shots by each athlete. Senior Cecilia Ossie, she took third with a score of 1,175, and freshman Charlie Mick in fourth place, 1,174, rounded out the top finishes. Then the coach has a quote. Head coach Mindy Miles has a quote. The team didn't have a great performance today. There were moments of pride depending on the position and athlete, but the team is missing out on major points due to consistency. That's what she says. The Huskers also grabbed the top 5 spots in the air rifle. Watts posted a 597 in the event to finish in first. Her score ties for the second highest in program history. Road was second, while Aussie finished third. Junior Mackenzie Strauk, 592, and Mick, 691, were fourth and fifth, respectively. Nebraska will travel to Morgantown, West Virginia. God, we gotta go against West Virginia again. To take on number 1 West Virginia, number 5 Air Force, and number 11 Murray State in the Fall Classic on November 11th and 12th. So that is that for volleyball. And so the last thing I got to talk about tonight is wrestling. And that, as you all know, this is my favorite sport. This one I can cover because it's the one I actually performed, excuse me, other than football. But in high school I wasn't even a starter in football. So, but wrestling it is, and we defeated North Dakota State. I think what was it? Final score of 31-12 in our duel. So 7 wins out of the 10 matches tonight, and yeah, I mean it was about what I expected. But starting us off at 125, Caleb Smith, the transfer from Appalachian State, took on. Oh dang it! Give me a minute, guys, because wasn't prepared for this one. So I actually took notes, but I didn't know all of the names from North Dakota State. So now I got to go back to the athletic site just to get their names. Here we go. And the announcers, I couldn't understand what they're saying, but Caleb Smith took on Carlos Negrete Jr. So in that match, nothing in the first period. Smith chooses bottom in the second period, where he eventually gets a reversal with back points. Negrete gets an escape slash takedown to end the period 6-3 in favor of Caleb Smith. In the third, Negrete chooses bottom to immediately get an escape to make it 6-4. Caleb Smith with a beautiful duck under to get. I actually wrote in my notes to get 2. So the NCAA changed the rule, and I totally forgot about this. But a takedown's worth 3 points now. It's not 2 anymore. But I've been around wrestling a long time. So whenever somebody gets a takedown, I'm used to hearing that 2, Now it's 3. Now, in the comments, if you know about wrestling at all, did they change this at a high school level too? Or is it just collegiately? But either way, it really threw me off hearing 3 instead of, because when he took him down, I was like, how in the hell does he got 3 points? But now I remember they changed it to 3 instead 2. So, and I might have wrote it down in my comments. So if I say 2, I actually mean 3. But anyway, he lets Negrete up to try to get more points, but eventually gets a win by decision, 9-5. This puts us up 3-0 on North Dakota State. Second match of the night, Jake Van D goes up against Fernando Barreto, and you can see how I can confuse these. I kind of wrote down, so it's Barreto. I wrote down Parelto or whatever, because that's how it sounded like the damn announcer said it, so I apologize if I say Parelto when it's Barreto. But anyway, Van D immediately takes a shot and scrambles around until he finally gets to 3. I was about to say 2. Barreto attempts a reversal, but Van D puts in a hard whizzer, but Barreto eventually settles for an escape to make it 3-1. A lengthy tie-up ensues with multiple shot attempts by the Bison. Eventually ends the first period at 3-1. Barreto chooses bottom. Van D hooks up the leg, making it hard for Barreto to get out. Eventually building up 2 minutes of riding time. Van D was working to get a turn, but gets nothing. Van D chooses neutral for the third period. After multiple tie-ups and hand fighting, Barreto takes a shot, but Van D does get a sprawl on him. After a stalemate, time ticks away for a 4-1 victory for Van D. So we're up 6-0 at this point. So at 141, we had Blake Cushing versus, this one, another one of the names, Gavin Drexler. For some reason, I said Wayne Dressler on the notes, but anyway, this was our first loss of the night. In the first period, after a shot by Drexler, Cushing sprawls and somehow turns into a takedown himself. Drexler gets an escape and more hand fighting ensues. Drexler does attempt another shot, but Cushing does a great job with stopping it. Second period, Cushing chooses bottom and gets an escape. After a minute and a half of shot attempts by both men, Drexler quickly gets a single leg takedown to get a takedown, tied at 4-4. In the third period, Drexler chooses bottom and gets a quick escape. Cushing gets a stall warning. Drexler eventually gets a 3-point takedown. Cushing is fighting get out, attempting his Granby rolls, but eventually loses by decision 8-4. Nebraska 6, North Dakota State 3 at this point. So then at 149 pounds, we finally, after a couple of years, Ridge Lovett is back, finally in action, and he looks great. And he looked great against Kellen March, who is actually ranked number 11th in the country, and he manhandled him. Anyway, a minute in, Ridge gets a takedown and eventually flattens March. Ridge was looking to wrench him over, but only obtains 2 minutes of running time that whole first period. In the second period, Ridge chooses bottom and gets an escape to make it 4-0. Ridge eventually gets another 3-point takedown and continues to find ways to put the cradle on March. Both guys go neutral. March attempts a single leg, but Lovett eventually spider monkeys his way for a takedown into a stalemate. Lovett allows March an escape point to continue to try to get bonus points, but settles for the 10-1 major decision. We're up 10-3 on North Dakota State at this point. So at 157, Peyton Robb versus Landon Johnson. In the first period, Robb gets the first takedown, working for a tilt on Johnson. The guy just would not give up his position. He eventually gets an escape, but Robb performs a beautiful fireman's carry to get another takedown. Robb continues to work for the tilt, but time eventually expires 8-1. Second period, Robb chooses bottom and nearly gets turned, but eventually gets a reversal to make it 10-1. Robb attempts another tilt, but eventually lets Johnson up. Robb gets a single leg takedown to make it 13-2. Robb continues his work into tying to get back points. Robb takes bottom and stays there till about a minute left, then gets a reversal to make it 15-2. Robb lets Johnson out and gets a takedown for a tech fall. We're up 15-3 on North Dakota State. At 100, after an intermission, we go to 165 pounds. Antrell Traylor versus Brandon Howes. And this is where we got the first pin of the night. And Antrell Taylor looks really good. In the first period, after a couple minutes of hand fighting, Houck comes in for a shot, but Taylor was able to get in a throw position, which eventually led to a 3-point takedown. Houck escapes, but Taylor gets in a throw, which ends the match in a pinfall. We're up 21-3. So now at 174 pounds, and this is the weight class where we have to replace the mighty Mikey Labriola, which is a huge loss in my mind. So we had Elise Brown-Tunn versus who's it? Gavin Sachs. So in the first period, Brown-Tunn eventually gets a shot in, but ends in a stalemate. Brown-Tunn's ankle pick turns into a double leg takedown, in which Sachs eventually escapes. Another ankle pick by Brown-Tunn eventually ends with expired time. Both guys start at neutral, and a crazy exchange ensues as Brown-Tunn attempts a double leg but Sachs just eventually scrambles. I lost my part. I'm sorry. Away, leaving both men back to neutral hand fighting. Brownton looks gassed at this point. In third period, Sachs picks bottom and scrambles his way to a reversal. Sachs gets 4-point near fall points, making it 3-7. Brownton is fighting on bottom, but eventually succumbs to a decision. So Nebraska 21, North Dakota State 6 at this point. At 184 pounds, another guy who's excited to watch, Lenny Pinto, who he wrestled Aiden Breenot of North Dakota State. In the first period, right from the start, we got to see Lenny Pinto's fiery strength as the two men scramble out of bounds. Pinto eventually gets a takedown, rides the Bison out. In the second period, Bison gets a beautiful high crotch takedown, lets him up and gets a shrug on him. Eventually just having his way with the guy until he gets a tech fall. So at 197 pounds, another guy in the gauntlet, Silas Allred. And he is ranked number 7 right now, rightfully so. I think he's going to be I don't know. I feel like he can be a top 4 finisher this year in the NCAAs, but he took on Spencer Newberry. He gets a tech fall as well, so I won't get into that. But then at heavyweight, Harley Andrews, who took on Devin Dawson, and he got pinned there in the, it was in the third period. He looked great. Most of the time, he looks like a damn lightweight out there for a heavyweight. But I don't know. He's gonna be another case of being too small, just getting overworked by these heavyweights. That we saw that last year with I can't even remember his name now, but it happened last year with another guy we had, and he just couldn't do nothing. So. But we got a pretty damn good wrestling team for the most part. We got some question marks in there. Who was it? Blake Cushing. He I don't know. He's supposed to be good, but it is his first match. Maybe he'll shake it off. And then you had Elise Brown, who was upset by Gavin Sachs tonight. But that's the thing, Mark Manning has a way of molding and shaping these guys up and actually turning them into really special wrestlers. So I'm not worried about Elise Brown's loss. It's just basically just kind of shaping them and making something out of it, but we'll see. Mikey Labriola is hard to replace at that 174-pound spot. So, but other than that, we had a great duel. And North Dakota State, they ain't a terrible team, But I think as the year goes on, we'll improve as usual. So that's actually going to do it for the most part on this show, guys. So on tomorrow's show, it's actually going to be a much shorter show. I would just happen to squeeze this one in, but so we'll wrap up the men's tennis Big Ten invite, and then we'll wrap up the women's bowling track cat clash, and then the volleyball game against Rutgers, and then we'll preview the upcoming week, which starts on Monday. So it's going to be a update on the weekend / week preview. So with that, guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I know it's a longer show, but I do thank you guys for watching, and please do like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. This is an all athletic show. I don't just talk about football, you know, um, especially while we're sucking right now. There wouldn't be too much to talk about. So, yeah, this all Husker athletics. I always talk weekly about them, all the sports, whether I like them or not, like tennis. But yeah, please like and share, subscribe to my show. And, on other shows, get the word out, say, hey, this guy can't really talk too well, but he knows his sports. But with that, guys, take care, be excellent to each other. Go Big Red.